presentation by administration advisors. There will be an opportunity for public comment. That's why the hearing will last at each person in the comment for 2 minutes. And the topic up to the proposed election. Notice that the preliminary determination hearing is subject to legally required.
Okay, pursuant of Indiana Code 61123.1, a school corporation must hold 2 public hearings and adopt a resolution to preliminarily determine to issue bonds or into a lease for a project which has a total project cost in excess of a certain threshold. These public hearings and the future considerations of resolutions are the very beginning of this legal process. We noted that no board action is legally required at the hearing tonight. Rather, this hearing is solely to hear public comment regarding the project.
I will hear process, community, and need for the process.
I'm kind of shuffle a little bit, so good evening. Thank you for coming out tonight to hear about our prospective building and renovation project. Over the past several months, we have been working to create a possible list of building projects. As you can see here, we're going to start talking about this debt service and this debt service fund payment. Currently, we have a couple of things. This is some of the projects. These are not set in stone. We are working with TechCon. The gentleman's name is Stacy Abernathy. He's been meeting with us, meeting with maintenance. Larry's here now. What's going on as well? That we've been meeting and we've been having conversations. A couple of things he's noticed, some things that we've questioned him about. This is very early in the preliminary process, but his plan is to come back and actually talk to teachers and staff as well. So this is where we are. These are some of the pieces. We are looking at exterior wall tuck pointing. I guess it's basically kind of like the grout between on some of the brick walls is coming loose. So we need to repair that. High school secured entrance, elementary school secured entrance, high school CPE renovation area, weight room, culinary, industrial arts in that area for renovation. High school media center, STEM early college space, restroom updating to make sure they're ADA compliant, and some renovations. The multi-purpose room, we have to put a chair lift in there to get to make it ADA compliant. Multi-purpose room, we're looking at doing our floors down there, so get rid of the glue, so littles don't have to on their clothes every day in the home. And then the tech area interior and HVAC, that is the HEX area is up in the elementary. So we're doing some storing and just renovating and finishing that stuff. So that's just the basic overall idea and scope of the work. I'll come back to this. But this is from TechCon. This would be a $9 million bond. And some of the costs would go into operations for future expenses. And these are hard and soft costs. And these are high. The bids, the dollar amounts are a little high on our bids. Not bids, but on our evaluation of the program and project. Here's the timeline for the bonds. It's July to September for bond issuance. The design would take place from September to December 2026. The bidding would take place in January and February 2027, and the construction would be in June of 2026 to March of 2027.
So I think one thing to mention on this, right? So a lot of you probably noticed your property taxes went up this year. So this year we kind of didn't have a choice other than to solicit a lower dollar amount bond with a quick turnaround payment period. So I think it was a year payoff. So that was kind of the the reasoning behind the increase in property taxes, but that front loaded us for this project. So that has set our debt service rate to the point that when we borrow this money, your tax rate won't be affected. So the additional amount that we're borrowing here will not affect your taxes anymore.
And back to you.
Now she's going to explain the financial part of the project.
Maybe I got ahead of her.
That's okay. I'm perfectly fine.
Yes. Liz,
Okay,
how about now? You okay now?
so this is our current bond. It will be paid off in 2026. We recently did the first payment, and then at the end of 2026, we'll do the second bond payment. This is what this will look like. Potential structure for a proposed $9 million. This graph is reflective of a 5% interest rate. If we were going to the table today, our people, public finance, his name is Luke, and you will meet him if you would like to have him come in and speak. But if he said today, it would be closer to 3.75 to 4%. These bonds are being structured to maintain the current debt service fund levels while leaving some capacity for future in 2030. So for example, in 2030, this falls down a little bit. A lot of school districts, they take on more debt. We have not done that, and he really commented on that today. So that's what this is looking like. This slide here is the first, tonight is the first step in this legal process, and these are maximum parameters. Once they're set, though, we can't go back and change them to go up a little bit. These numbers are conservative in nature. That means they're a little high. We are not taking any legal action tonight. These numbers are specifically for information only. They will be in the resolution at the second hearing, which will be next month. The net tax increase over 2026 debt service fund is 0, and it was shown here. But if you look, the maximum payment would be this. Notice because of our current debt, and it falls off at the end of the year, there is no net debt service increase.
You got anything else?
That's it.
Okay. Okay. Now we'll open the public hearing. Remember, if you'd like to speak, please sign in. As mentioned earlier, we ask that your name and address. Limit your comments to the proposed project and financing. Keep any comments to 3 minutes, and avoid being repetitive if possible. Steve Sorrells, first name on the list. Yeah.
Yeah.
Go get it if you need to.
Okay, thank you. Revolves around the FEMA or the tornado shelter in regards to schools' responsibilities, others' responsibilities, communications as to the facility is open, things of that nature. Obviously, with what currently happened, there was a lot of information or lack of information put out whether or not the facility was open. They came out, it was locked, so forth. My question is, and apologize my ignorance here, I'm not up to speed, but what is the school's responsibility in regards to that? Or go ahead, Drexel.
I was just going to say, we're going to address that later in the meeting, that
Okay.
very thing.
Okay.
This right here is just for the financials and
Well,
the project
that was
questions.
when I was signing in and so forth. It
Okay.
was, where do you, because I didn't see the agenda. And that's the
Okay,
other thing. When
okay.
I go on to Facebook and others, school corporation, the agenda is not posted.
Okay.
You have to have the show's news. I guess that's where you post it or wherever. That's the other thing. Is that a possibility that on the school corporation's website that the agenda for the school board meetings could be posted?
Okay.
That'll be very beneficial.
Okay.
in regards to the project,
Okay.
debt service, we currently, and Ethan, you had said we kind of front end loaded it for this year's 26 or the 25 property taxes that we paid. What was that based upon without, the hearings knowing what was going on here? Can I ask that question as far as the current debt service and what I'm seeing here? Is this $9 million additional on top of what the current debt service is that the school is obligated at this point in time?
Yes, it will be.
It's an addition. What do you, off the top of your head, and I apologize for the question, but what is the current debt service balance at this point in time without the $9 million?
We borrowed $1 million for the first bond, and I can tell you, because I do this every month, so I want to update. Currently, we right now have our fund balance is $343,267.91.
Okay.
But we're getting ready to pay for a brand new bus.
Okay.
So that is the current balance that we have in the money we.
So explain to me again, transportation versus debt service as far as the fund. Is there not a separate transportation fund that you vote on? I mean, you have a budget and there's a transportation budget. True statement?
It's operations now.
Okay, it went to operations, and that's where this would fall. So operations and debt service. Can you explain how that marries up?
So debt service money can help us to pay for operations expenses, like large expenses that we have been incurring with HVAC and new buses and things like that. So the bond money is used for capital projects. It can also be used for operations.
So when you put your budget in for next year, it's coming up. I know you work with Dr. Harmon and so forth to put that in. You make a separation as far as operations, and then you're free as the board as well. And don't take this wrong. Rob, Peter to pay Paul in certain areas. True statement?
Yeah.
Okay.
True statement.
Okay.
Right now, a lot of districts.
Except for education.
You have to.
Yeah.
Understood. Okay. All right. And you will address the FEMA thing later on.
I have it right here.
Yeah.
All right. Thank you. Appreciate it.
Kara Schmidt. Okay. 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 Bruce Hawkins?
Comments now on this project.
Correct. This is just for this public hearing on the project. Okay. Anybody else want to speak to the project? Okay. Appreciate the comments. And that portion of the meeting will be closed, and we'll go to our regular meeting. So we need approval of the minutes from the June 11th, 26th meeting. Motion to approve those minutes.
All motion.
Ethan, second.
Second.
Lorna, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye. 4-0. Physical fund update and some celebrations.
So I want to celebrate a few kiddos. First, we want to celebrate for sure all of the kids who participated in the Catfish Festival. And it was great seeing all those kids out there, and all of our kids that this week are sweating it up at the 4-H fairgrounds and doing all the work there. We want to point out that Reva Troutman, is she here? She's in the back. Reva Troutman was recognized this year. So I'm not sure if people know this, but she was the state beta sponsor for the state of Indiana. And she participated in many things and supported and touted all the great things that we do here at Shoals across the country. And she was recognized at the National Beta Convention, one of 3 chosen as the National Beta Sponsor of the Year. So I think we need to give you a round of applause, because I don't know if you see all the behind the scenes things that goes on with Beta and lots of things here, but I'm just going to point Beta out today because I have this opportunity that someone shared this with me. We also, at the National Beta Convention, the senior beta competed in 5 events. Braxton Mullis placed 3rd in spelling. And the junior beta competed in 27 events. Luke Fisher, Josiah Sullivan, Alexis Green, Sophia Sanders, Ian Hovis, and Mason McShane placed 8th in musicology. I got to give ask those questions last year. I can't believe they were hard. Elementary beta competed in 30 events, with Piper Treadway placing 4th in poetry. So we just kind of want to celebrate all the kids, all the 4-H, all the things going on at the Catfish Festival. It's been a really busy couple of weeks here, so we want to celebrate those things. Thank you. All right, I'm going to move into my report. I get to talk about by buckets, and Steve, I love talking about these buckets. Usually I have buckets here, but usually I like to talk about buckets. So I'm going to go back here and just talk a little bit about each of the buckets. The education fund, and I know some people are tired of hearing this. I've been doing this every month, but the education fund is primarily for teacher salaries and classroom education. It is based on enrollment and funded mostly by state tuition support. Our operations fund is used for facilities, maintenance, transportation, utilities, and technology, and it's funded through local property tax, and it is constrained by some tax caps. Senate Bill 1 is right now one of the big ones. And all of the municipalities are being affected by that, not just the schools. The debt service fund is specifically for paying off debt from construction projects, which is supported by property tax, 100% property tax. That debt service is paid first. And you know how we have the tax caps and tax credits? That is paid for first before the other property tax money that goes into our operations before we get that. The rainy day fund acts as a savings account. It's funded by transferring unspent money from the education and operations funds at the end of the year to cover future emergency expenses. And over the years, there has been some great savings going on and being able to put money in that account. In the education fund, and if you notice every month I share this, in the education fund, this month, excuse me, in June, we had quite a few expenses because we paid out all of our coaches. That all comes out of education. We paid for some curriculum. We paid from some things that we have to pay every year out of that. So the expenditures are pretty high this month. This was what we brought in. So we overspent our revenue at the education fund. This is our fund balance, $2.6 million. And right now, we are at 51% of our appropriations, which is kind of the amount of money that we budget with Brian Harmon. We set a budget, and we've used almost 51% of that. This is one of the funds that we've talked about that we are overspending, and we have been very transparent about that. Chad Blacklock has been transparent about it, and so has Dr. Harmon. This is our operations fund. This is where we do a lot of conversations with HVAC, and we have the buses and the gas and all the utilities. I will say Larry does a great job. He meets with Kendra regularly, talks about all of the things that we need to fix, what can we put off, what can we do well, how long can we go longer with the boilers, different things like that. So a lot of conversations out of the operations funds. So this revenue is high because we got our property tax money. And then our expenditures are $247,000. So right now, this fund is looking good, but we have a lot of expenses coming up, and we also have the effect of Senate Bill 1. So that's what our operations looks like. We get another one in December. Yeah, great. I like the questions. So last month, we did a resolution, actually 2. We transferred from the rainy day fund to the cafeteria in the amount of $29,949. We did that last month. Someone had asked if we would share that amount and what that looks like. We are a CEP district. Every kid here gets a free breakfast and a free lunch. We only get 80% return on that food. We have to pay for our food out of that. We also have to pay for our staff. So being a CEP school, this is actually really good. Amy Money has done a great job of conserving, but we will always spend approximately $30,000. We actually spent $6,000 earlier in the year. So it's right around $36,000. That's what it's costing us as a district out of our rainy day fund to pay for the things that are happening in the cafeteria. We also can transfer money from education to operation up to 15% of the basic grant dollars. We do that kind of like you said earlier. We take some from one to be able to pay for another. And we moved $261,951.63.
Which was 10%.
Yes.
And it's 5% less than what we have past years.
Yes. Yep. This is our bond money. The bond money right now, the $1 million. These are the expenses that we've used. We ordered a bus in October of 2024. We are supposed to be getting it in the next couple of weeks. So we will be using some of this bond money here to pay for that bus. These are the things that we have paid for with that bond money. We also paid for part of the finishing of the FEMA shelter. That is our update.
Okay. All right. Thank you. So any comments from anybody on the items on the agenda? I know we've covered some of that stuff already. With everybody good on that?
We are limited because it is a free and reduced of lunch. The state has specific parameters that Amy Money has talked about, but there's specific parameters. We cannot charge kids for things. We cannot. It's a very strict, regimented piece. Now, if kids would like extra lunch, they could buy another lunch, but we are strapped by that. And a lot of CEP schools are moving away from being CEP and going back to the free and reduced lunch applications because it is an expense and it just seems to be growing because the expenses in the cafeteria seem to be growing.
I was just curious if you said well, during the days, you cover that, but when you push the budget in, and that would also cover that.
The cafeteria is actually a separate budget. Amy Money, myself, and Kendra Wright, we meet monthly to, and sometimes weekly, to discuss that to make sure that we are managing that well. But it is a completely separate budget. I love all these questions.
Okay, moving on. Oh, sorry. Oh. Come up here if you would, please. Come up here to the microphone if you would.
Same size, what your different budgets are.
You're asking for a comparison on.
Have you done comparisons with other schools this size?
Oh, for our complete budget, or we're talking about the cafeteria?
Take salaries, for instance. How do you compare to, say, Lagodi or other schools' show size? Have you done comparisons?
I have done specific, and when we hire someone, I look at specific, especially administrators.
No, I mean total budget. I mean, like, how much difference is there between Lagode's budget and your budget?
Well, a lot of the budget that we really look at is the basic fund grant, which is the education budget. And I do look at them because it's based on enrollment.
Could it be possible that you'd be $1.25 million over Lagode's in salaries?
I would say our salaries are, from what I've noticed, they are
And
higher than. the
60-some employees more?
I'm sorry,
60-some employees more than Lagode?
I would say that's very.
I
I
just
don't know the exact count.
trying to figure out whether.
I would have
I
to
don't-
call and speak
Yeah.
with.
Well, I
Shelley.
just went on Gateway and done some computations, and that's what it showed up. So,
Yep.
and I just curious is your operation budget, if they would be that much different. Usually, the operation budget's about 1.5 times more than salary. So, I'm just curious.
Our operations budget.
I don't know. I haven't seen yet, but I was just curious as whether you'd made comparisons like
I
that.
have made comparisons and.
Okay.
Not specifically on a regular basis, since I'm pretty new to this, but I am learning.
Well, I can defend.
Yeah.
Anything else?
On the agenda.
Yeah, anything as far as the agenda? I think Bruce had something wasn't on the project, right? You got something on the agenda? You got something for the agenda or just comment?
Anything at all?
Well, I was going to open it up at the end, but if you want to now, that's fine.
Just in hearing from different people in general, it sounds like there's quite a few teacher vacancies coming up.
Yeah.
How many?
1, 2. I think it's just
We have
2.
band. We have band. We have
Engineering.
engineering. Engineering. We have construction trades, band, welding.
That's it.
That's it.
3 or 4? I've heard 15 or 16.
We have some special ed teacher assistant positions open in the elementary, but we're filling quite a few of those tonight. I would say we probably have 3 or 4 special ed positions, teaching assistant positions available. We have a speech pathologist, and if anybody knows a speech pathologist, we'd love to have an in-person speech pathologist. We have that person for months.
Years.
Yeah.
You hear lots of different things. Title I. Is there going to be a Title I dedicated teacher this coming year?
We have, I can't answer that question. That would be a question for the elementary principal.
Okay.
Title I is interesting how it works. The funding, we do fund a teacher out of Title I.
Okay. The conversation was saying that will not be this year. It was going to be done differently this year,
It is going to be done differently.
and not a dedicated teacher for Title I.
We have not had a dedicated teacher for Title I that I'm aware of. We had a remediation teacher, but it isn't dedicated for Title I with Title I. In my eyes, is what Title I is. I'll put it that way.
Yeah, Title I is federal grant for low income folks, and there are a lot in this county and this school. That's what Title I is for. And I guess there's different ways you can do that. I want to say something. Anything I say is nothing personal to any of you. Some of you I don't know, and some of you I do know. I've always liked you. My wife is constantly cautioning me about how I say things. She says, not always what you say, but she said it's how you say it. So I don't mean to be disrespectful to anybody. The ag and construction program, that's a vacancy there. Okay, what additional requirements will it be for those individuals this year as we didn't have in the past?
Who you,
We have a couple of, we have applicants for each.
you talking about the instructor at this point or the teacher at this
Yeah,
point?
Mr.
Okay,
Kent,
okay.
Mr. Adams.
Gotcha.
What is your question again?
What additional requirements are you wanting from those instructors, whoever that will be this year, that was not required in years past?
They will work to obtain credentials to be able to offer credentials of value that are being required or recommended from the Department of Education.
So that is some type of certificate for the students. Is that what I'm hearing?
Yeah, kind of like we have, for example, we have our CNA program. That CNA certificate that they get when they finish 3 levels class, that is a credential of value. And it is counted as a credential of value for the Indiana Department of Education. Our goal is that in every area of our CTE, our teachers will be able to teach something that will give our kids a credential of value. This week I'm going over to USG to speak with them because we have had a conversation about OSHA. And the
Safety.
OSHA credential is one of the credentials that's listed in the Department of Education list. So I want to know how USG and I, our team, can work together to make sure our kids maybe get that. Because if they can get that when they leave here, he said it's going to give those kids a leg up when they go to apply for a job over at USG. And our teachers and our applicants, our teachers now have to have 90 CEUs or 6 college credits to renew their license. So the coursework that they would take for these classes or these certificates will go towards then helping them obtain those or renew their teaching license.
So, Mr. Kent, Mr. Adams had a workplace specialist license,
Yes.
which allowed them to teach
Yes.
in years past.
Yes.
So, you're upping that to something else now?
No.
Is that not, is a requirement beyond that?
No, but we are at the current applicants that we have. One of the applicants for construction space has an industrial technology license. And our ag candidates that we have right now that we're talking with have, will be graduating from Purdue with an agriculture teaching license from Purdue.
Okay.
We do have, and will be hiring, hopefully tonight, we have, it's right on here, an engineering, we have an engineer who is retiring from his engineering job, and he is willing to teach our engineering coursework. He will be able to teach credential to value. He's willing to go back and get project lead-the-way training so that our kids can have project lead-the-way on their credential of value. He's also able to teach dual credit because he has a bachelor's degree from Purdue in engineering. So those are just a couple of the pieces, but he will be obtaining a workplace specialist license because he has over 60,000 hours of experience in engineering. So his license will be workplace specialist.
Okay. I think I understand that.
Okay.
So if Mr. Kent applied for this position, would he be considered for that? Has he got the credentials for that?
For,
The ag program?
yes, yes, and the workplace specialist license in
Okay. I think that's it for right now. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you. Anybody else? Building level principles.
Dr. Latham, did you want me to clarify with Bruce's question with the Title I? Okay. So your question regarding the Title I support that we had in the elementary, we did have a trained, our librarian, Mrs. Gwen, she was trained in OG and she was our reading specialist. And we did lose her. She was, Dr. Lanham recommended that she return back to the classroom. So she will now be our third grade teacher, and that position will be replaced with an aide. So elementary updates, not a lot.
Clarify, you are going to be using your Title I to contain when remediation or when you're using that Title I money, you're changing the way you're doing your.
We will have 30-minute periods every day where our teachers across the grade level with our aides will be working on pull out small groups and things like that. So students will be getting a certain amount of time each day for small group instruction, but we will not have that reading specialist position anymore. It will be in each, yes, kindergarten through 5th grade will have a designated time each day for small group pull out. So when it stands for what I need. So you may have some students who are a 2nd grader, but they are at a kindergarten level reading. So they're going to be receiving more remedial support. And then you may have a 2nd grader who is reading at a 4th grade level. So they could get some more accelerated work. I mean,
would it make more sense to hire them to take class? That makes sense. I'm sorry.
I do think teachers have a lot on their plate. And we have to get creative with scheduling, but I mean, I do think that one person being able to see those students consistently every day would be ideal. But without that, we're just going to have to get creative. Okay, so for the month of June, not a whole lot happening here in the school with our elementary, a lot of behind the scene things. I do want to start off by thanking our maintenance and custodial crew. They have done a lot of stuff behind the scenes. I know they're busy getting classrooms, taking things out, doing full cleans, our hallways. So thank you, Larry. And I know Luton and everyone else in the elementary. They have it looking great, and they'll be ready to go here shortly. 9 of our elementary teachers recently attended a computer science professional development in Bloomington, Indiana at Indiana University. Curriculum mapping sessions are also underway for our primary and intermediate grade level teachers, working on preparing for our English language arts and math curriculum. I also want to highlight our elementary betas who attended National Beta Convention in Nashville, Tennessee. And thank you to Mrs. Callie Furman, our elementary sponsor. It was great seeing so many elementary students and their families out and about at the Catfish Festival this past week. And this week, many students are showcasing their hard work and 4-H projects at the Martin County 4-H Fair. I want to wish everyone a continuous, safe, and fun, relaxing summer. And I look forward to seeing everyone back here at Shoals Elementary very soon.
Thank you.
Hello. Thanks so much.
Damien, is this on? Damien, is this on? Okay. Happy summer. So I'm Miss Eubank. I'm the middle school principal, and we have, like Audrey said, it's summer, so we have very short updates this week, but we have one really big one that I want to share. Miss Kelly Wellman Covey, who is the social worker that we work with primarily in the middle school, was able to write a grant for us called Being for Others, and we were awarded $14,500 to help our students by joining what's called Team Peace, and that's why Kara Schmidt is here. She's going to tell you a little bit more about Team Peace. But basically, the mission of Team Peace is to support schools and families by providing in integrating trauma response practices into their daily routines and relationships by providing accessible nervous system education and resilience building tools to youth and adults. And let me just kind of tell you where this is coming from. In the middle school this year, I witnessed at least 7 different children have anxiety attacks or panic attacks. They are crippling our kids, and those kids need help. And that's what Team Peace is all about. So I'm going to let Kara go first and really explain to you what Team Peace is and why I'm super excited that we're going to be able to offer this for our kiddos. So.
All right. Okay. All right. Well, let me know if you can't hear me. So as Carol said, I'm Kara Schmidt, and I am the executive director and founder of Team Peace. We've been in existence since 2019. So thanks a lot for letting me come and share about Team Peace. Pretty much every educator that I talk to, and I've talked to a lot of them because we've been in schools a lot over the last 7 years, they tell me the same thing, that students are carrying more stress, anxiety, emotional dysregulation, and trauma than ever before. So teachers, I feel like, most of the teachers I see are doing everything they can, but are being asked to teach while also trying to manage classroom behaviors, supporting mental health, and helping students develop skills that many have never had the chance to develop themselves. So the question to me and to Team Peace isn't whether students need this sort of social emotional support. The question is, how do we do it and provide it in a way that is practical and sustainable and supports teachers and the students, instead of just adding one more thing to teachers' plates? So that's why Team Peace exists. We feel like we're a support for what teachers and social workers and counselors are already trying to do, but just feel like there's a lot happening for kids that more support is needed. So we are an Indiana nonprofit. We are dedicated to helping schools build healthier learning environments through trauma-informed neuroscience-based education. Our mission is to help students and educators understand their brains, regulate their emotions and nervous systems, build healthy relationships, and create school cultures where everyone can thrive. Our work combines what's called applied educational neuroscience. This is a growing field that has a lot of research behind it. I've studied with Dr. Lori Desautel at Butler University to get trained in this. We do mind-body skills or regulation skills that are based in mind-body practices. We focus on emotional intelligence, relationship building, and practical classroom strategies. We also focus on things like conflict resolution and leadership skills. So everything that we do is designed to be immediately usable. We really feel like this matters because all the research is showing that students learn best when they feel safe and supported and they're regulated in their nervous systems. So when the nervous system is overwhelmed, like you were talking about panic attacks, that's an overwhelm of the nervous system. Learning decreases, memory decreases, problem solving decreases, impulse control or impulsive behavior increases, and conflict increases, drama increases. So we often treat these as discipline problems when many are actually stress response issues. When children, students, even adults, my team has learned so much as adults about this for themselves, but when we learn these simple skills to regulate our bodies and emotions, we're just better able to focus, to solve problems, to collaborate, and to learn. So our approach works with the entire school community. We've grown from just working with students and youth to also supporting teachers and helping to coach or consult with administrators as they wish. And like I said, we have engaging lessons that are kid-friendly, so they're accessible to little ones. But we teach kids how their brain works, like what's happening inside when you are flooded with anxiety. What their emotions are telling them. We give them stress management skills, healthy coping strategies, communication skills, conflict resolution, and self-awareness. In our lessons, we use puppets, especially for the little kids. We're doing middle school here, so we're not going to use puppets. But we do things that are very interactive and engaging, hands-on activities, and then we do have professional development for teachers, which we'll be doing a lot of with Shoals. So, and maybe, I can't remember exactly. I think we're working with the PE health teacher mostly. Yeah. Yeah. So I feel like Team Peace is really different. There are a lot of SEL or social emotional learning programs out there. And what makes us different is that we don't just teach students to manage emotions, we teach them why their brains and bodies respond the way that they do. So what I found for myself and what I've seen in students for all these years is when we understand what's happening inside ourselves, it becomes less about like, what's wrong with me? Is there something wrong with me? Which can create a lot of shame and can kind of shut kids and people down really quick. But when they understand, it actually empowers them, they realize I can take some control. I know what's going on. I can do something about it. And we see their confidence and a sense of empowerment raised in them. So we try to focus on building skills that are going to last them not just for their school day, but for their whole life, their whole lifetime. So that is what we do. If you have any questions, you're welcome to ask. And also, we're doing research this year on our program with Indiana University Southeast. There's a press release in your packet there that talks about that. And I'm trying to think if there's anything else in there I wanted to mention. But are there any questions? Yeah. So it depends on the school. In most of the schools we've been in, we have a team of teachers that goes into the school weekly, and we take 30 minutes a week. So we've done that in Orleans, Paoli, Springs Valley, all three Crawford County elementary schools. Last year, we did a pilot program with Hatfield Elementary, Mitchell, with one grade. And what we did is we trained 2 people in their building. That was at their request. They wanted to try it. And so instead of our team going in, I trained their people and they implemented it. And now they want to expand in Hatfield and into Burris. And so that's what we're going to do here too, is train the staff. The people in the school are doing it. Like we're trying to move to that model in the schools we've been in since 2019, but they're kind of used to us being in there. So we have to kind of wean them off. So this year we're creating a whole bunch of digital content. So both lesson plans that teachers can read in addition to the training they'll get, but also videos that they can use either to help themselves learn what to do or actually show students if they prefer. So we're going to start at all the schools in that we've been in weekly, we're going to start going in every other week, and then on the opposite weeks, ask them to show a video and see how that goes. We're hoping it empowers teachers. The other thing that we're finding is that the teachers themselves who use this and implement it, it's helping their stress levels. It's helping their emotional well-being. And I think from what I hear from most educators, they want that and need that. So does that answer your question? Okay. Any other questions? Yeah, excited to be at Shoals. So, yeah, thank you.
Thank you.
So if you want to know, our initial team is Miss Heidi's going to do it in the middle school for our middle school PE classes. So it's a dedicated time and space. But she will be supported with Miss Kelly Wellman-Covey, Miss Brittany Bushy, Diane Turpin, and myself. So there's going to be 6 of us going to all of this training. And a lot of us work both buildings. So Diana, Brittany, obviously they're in both buildings. Miss Heidi's in both buildings. So we wrote the grant for the middle school. But I can tell you, after our team went out, they went both to Mitchell and Orleans to see the different ways it rolled out in those schools. I came from Paoli, so I knew what this could do. But they went and visited a couple of other schools, and they came back pumped and ready to roll it out in elementary. So I said, well, we gotta slow our roll here and start small. But the intent is to grow this as we see it helps our kiddos. So I have seen it firsthand at another school district work. So on with my other minutes. In terms of teacher accountability this summer, our math teachers came in June 3rd and 4th to attend the state-provided PD. So Mr. Emmerich, Miss Sutton, Miss Troutman, Miss Esch, and Miss Cornett. While there, our math teachers clarified how our new WIN classes are what I need is going to replace basic skills. And that checks our MTSS box. So if you don't know what MTSS is, it's a multi-tiered system of supports. That kind of tracks kids in terms of their academic ability. Are they tier 1? Are they capable of just getting it in the classroom? Are they tier 2, where they maybe they just need a little extra time? Or are they tier 3, where we really need to get in and reteach some stuff? And so our new WIN class will focus on the tier 3 kiddos. We're gonna move to an RTI model for our tier 2 kids. So we have a slight schedule change this year where homeroom, or that advisory time, is going to be a full 20 minutes. And there'll be time built into the schedule for those tier 2 kids. If they need a little more time in math, they can go down to the math teacher and get a little more time in math, right? And so they can get caught right back up. But the WIN class will be our tier 3 kids, where we're reteaching the things that they need to get them on grade level. And so that's what the math PD was about. Our ELA teachers will have a similar training on July 20th. So all of our special education staff, including teachers, paraprofessionals, are going to also have a training this summer as well with Miss Emily Dykstra about actual classroom procedures that can help not only our students but our teachers manage in the classroom. So, and then going back to Team Peace, the entire team, I forgot Myrna. Myrna's in this group too. So Kelly Wellman-Covey, Diana, Brittany, Myrna, myself, we all have our first training starting July 27th and 28th so that we can hit the ground running with Team Peace and just make it a part of our culture here in the middle school. I think the last thing on my minutes is that my handbook, I think you guys all got a copy of it. So I think it's ready for its second read, but if you have changes you need me to make, just let me know. Okay. Say again. Oh, I'm sorry. Oh, yeah, our early college leadership team, I'm sorry. We met on June 17th to establish new leadership in Megan's absence and to make sure that we are prepared to keep the early college program running and keep it up to date. And so we have Miss Cornett, Miss Furman, Miss Rue, and Miss Cage have all joined the team to make sure that we don't miss a beat with our early college program and we keep our endorsement intact. So, questions for me?
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Okay, under new business, we have personnel items. We have resignations from instructional positions. Kayla Tedrow, Ethan Adams, Renell Cushman, Ben Kent. Resignations from coaching positions. Rebecca Rollins from JV volleyball coach and varsity cheer coach. And approval of coaches on the page here. Was there something we missed here? Approval of coaches. I didn't see anything on that. Is it on the other one? That's back. We have coaches.
Molly, was there some coaches that we need to
I'm trying to look as well. There was some on the old one. What was on the old one? Got it?
Yeah.
Okay. Got them here, don't we? Oh, we don't have Abby on here. Yeah, I don't see Abby, so we'll put that one on there as well. We'll cover that when we get to that one. Abby Furman has to be added to as JV volleyball coach, and Amy Harder as 6th grade volunteer volleyball coach. Abby Furman. We'll add that to that section when we get there. And Amy Harder, 6th grade and JV, Abby Furman. Okay. Get back to where I was at here. Okay, so we have the resignations from Kayla Tedrow, Ethan Adams, Renell Cushman, Ben Kent, and resignations from Rebecca Rollins from JV volleyball coach and varsity cheer coach. Motion to approve those resignations.
All motion.
Ethan, a second. Eva, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Contract update for Eli Burkhart and Audrey Gibson. Motion to approve those updates.
I'll make a motion.
Lorna, second.
I'll second.
Ethan, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Policy for approval, public meeting protocols. Motion to approve that. Eva, second.
I'll second.
Ethan, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye. The middle school handbook revisions that Carol talked about, motion to approve those. Eva, second.
I'll second.
Lorna, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye. High school volleyball to see Little Caesars Pizza August 1st through October 1st. To sell, I'm assuming, isn't it? Okay. Motion to approve that fundraiser.
All motion.
Ethan, second. Eva, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Athletic request. Approval for all games at all levels to have an entrance fee of $6, which is still below the state average. Approval for the corporation to continue to pay for the gas for away games with the athletic department to pay the drivers. I'm sorry. All right, thank you. Let's see. Approval of the following volunteers for the girls basketball program: Amy Money, Alyssa Taylor, Taylor Turpin, and Ava Perry. And the JV volleyball coach was Abby Furman, and sixth grade volleyball volunteer was Amy Harder. Approval to host a JBL camp with the date to be determined. Amy Money as volunteer cross country coach for the middle school and high school. Motion to approve those. Eva, second.
I'll second.
Ethan, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Reva Troutman's church youth group to tend the school garden over the summer. Motion to approve. Eva, second.
I'll second.
Ethan, all in favor?
I'll abstain.
Lorna's going to abstain, so it's going to be 301. Cosmos strategic plan draft. You want to talk about that for a second?
Yes. So I have a couple of things to share. I'm going to pop back out on Cosmos. We have been working for the past year with the Cosmos organization. That's a combination between Shoals, Mitchell, and Orleans, and we do some shared work. So I will kind of go through this a little quickly. I think, did they get handouts with the rocket ship on there?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, we did.
In the back. So there are some handouts back here with a rocket ship, and that is really a great graphic for what we're striving to do with Cosmos. A lot of this has to do with the demand of the workforce, and we've been lucky to work with ROI. Cosmos is positioned to move from a collection of programs to a more aligned, sustainable system to meet the needs of our workforce. And we're working together with organizations in 3 counties. So that makes it a great process. We went through the strategic planning process, and the goal is outcomes is increased student participation in career-connected learning and high-quality pathways. So when they're going to start doing some work, if you look on this spaceship, if you look at the bottom, it's a Cosmos acronym, but it talks about curiosity launch in K2, open to exploring in 3-5, skills being ignited in grades 6 through 8, mission driven in 9 through 10, own my plan in grade 11, and set to soar in grade 12. So I love this graphic. And I love the work that we've been able to do. We really are working for stronger alignment between education and workforce needs, building sustainable systems that remain effective through change in staffing and leadership. And our priorities are building shared systems, the K-12 career connected learning continuum, shared high quality pathways and post-secondary readiness, expanding access to programs, coordinating employer and community engagement. We do a lot of partners with career days, and they bring their kids here for different events, and our kids go there for different events. We have 2 girls, I think, going this year to Mitchell to do medical. It's not the CNA program, but it's another medical program. And then we have kids from Mitchell and Orleans that come here for our CNA program. Every year it's a little bit different. So it's really taking a look at how our career and workforce can align with education. What we're doing is they recommended, so we worked with ROI, and they recommended that we strengthen our systems, that we partner with organizations to develop and rebrand communication plan and our website, that we update the Cosmos MOU, that's our agreement between the 3 organizations, to reflect clarified roles and decision making. And we talked about building an advisory board just for Cosmos alone. So those are the quick overview of our Cosmos 2.0.
Okay, thank you. Documentation approvals, approval of the Child Nutrition Procurement Plan 26-27 and sharing of the family letter, approval of update to Public Employee Retirement Fund and non-certified handbook, approval of Homestead Credit Resolution. Motion to approve those.
I'll motion.
Ethan, second.
I'll second.
Lorna, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Personnel reports. We have 3 resignations: Kendra Hovis, Scott Carr, Christina Gardner. I want to thank Kendra for her years of service, and Scott for his also, and Christina as well. Motion to approve those resignations.
I'll motion.
Ethan, second.
I'll make motion.
Lorna, all in favor?
Aye.
Certified contract approvals. Dean Troutman for engineering design teacher pending acquisition of workplace specialist license. Motion to approve. Eva, second.
I'll second.
Ethan, all in favor?
Aye.
I'm abstaining.
301 with Lorna abstaining. 2 more here. Carol Eubank for middle school, high school principal, and Jeff G for dean of students. Motion to approve those 2.
Those are both pending signatures on contract, correct?
Pending signatures on contract. Thank you. Yes. Motion to approve.
I'll motion.
Ethan and Eva, all in favor?
Aye.
Non-certified approvals pending personnel documents and background checks. Aubrey Griselius for kindergarten long-term sub-maternity leave. Darcy Soak as full-time one-on-one special education aide. And Amber Harder as elementary intermediate classroom aide. Kristen Walker Damon as elementary primary classroom aide. Bailey Davis as middle school administrative assistant. Kimberly Bridges to be paraprofessional in the high school. Caden Leonard for part-time custodian. Lydia Cook for elementary STEAM aide. Motion to approve those.
I'll motion.
Ethan, second.
I'll second.
Lorna, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Approval of 26-27 substitutes. Returning Melissa Grogan as food service worker substitute. Also returning Jennifer Bridges, Christy Day, Terry Dye, Etta Franklin, Cliff Goodman, Emma Holt, Joyce Jones, Abby Lindsay, Gerald Montgomery, Denise Sanders, Tim Sanders, Kelly Shaw, Matthew Sullivan, Sunblossom Summerton, Lisa Taylor, and Kimberly Weininger. Those are all returning. And new would be Darla Holt, Linda Evans Dillon. Motion to approve. Eva, second.
I'll second.
Ethan, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Personnel, letter of teacher license renewal for Melanie Hawkins, Scott Carr, and James Emmerich. Approval of current salaries to remain unchanged pending the completion of and approval of teacher negotiations in the fall. Approval of Darla Holt sick leave reimbursement. Motion to approve.
I'll motion.
Ethan, second.
I'll second.
Lorna, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Miscellaneous alternate application for free and reduced eligibility, registration flyer, and meet the teacher flyer.
So registration will be July 21st from 3 to 6:30. You can register online now if you want, but if you want help with registration, you guys can come in. And then on August
Here it is.
the 3rd from 4 to 6, you can meet your teacher and staff, drop off supplies, and have some pizza for dinner. It's going to be kicking off the school year with fun, friends, and pizza. Those things will go live tomorrow.
Motion to approve those. Eva, second.
I'll second.
Ethan, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Storm shelter operations plan.
I want to talk a little bit about this. Over the past couple of months, we've been working with our insurance agent to ensure our insurance coverage. And we've also been working a little bit. I've met with Ben and Kendra at the end of April. The board has asked that we do 2 separate shelter plans. One is during school hours and what that looks like during school hours when the kiddos are here. And then what it would look like on outside school hours. In this outside school hours, one area I've been working with my friend Larry back there, and we have been talking a lot about how this works. When we look at the language for the outside school hours, the first thing that we noticed together, actually Larry pointed it out, is that the school districts, it says when a tornado watch or tornado warning or is expected for our area or the local tornado sirens are sounded, the school district's automation system will unlock and turn on the safe room lights. And the school district's automation system will cause the volunteer shelter operations team to be notified and will advise them to go to their designated area. We have not fully completed that volunteer team, but more importantly, I have contacted Andy, our EMA director, to try to help Andy Ringwald to try to help us determine or figure out how we can create or obtain an automated system. Because right now, the only way to get into that FEMA shelter is with a lock, a door, a key. Some of us have one. So I have a meeting with him this coming week to talk about how we make this work systemically to make sure that the doors get unlocked, that we're not standing there waiting for someone to show up to unlock the doors. What happens if on the way the volunteer has an accident or can't get out of their driveway? Or we were talking about it. They have cut down trees, lots of things. So how do we automate this? And how do we use our EMA and our county organization to try to help us make sure this is done well? So I apologize. When the last storm went through, I was out of town and I was really off the grid and didn't have any idea. So I will say that I apologize. I would love this to work and I would love it to be automated. So that's kind of where we are with that system right now. I do have a couple of people that we watched the weather on Sunday, and the only thing that I know to do is to have somebody come out and unlock the door and then throw a message up on Facebook. And I don't know that that's as highly effective either because not everybody has access to Facebook. So that's why the work with Andy, I think, is going to be so beneficial. We will create a volunteer team, and I would love to have feedback and conversation regarding how to make this work smoothly.
So when the watch is issued, you get notified.
That's kind of how it works. I have to watch the weather app. That is kind of how it's supposed to work. There's supposed to be a team of volunteers. Correct. Right now, we don't have anybody that can do that.
That's why we're working with the local authorities and getting those people involved that monitor that situation, that can be part of, if not lead that whole team. the procedures are being written on that. That's why we're getting Andy involved, because I think the certain individuals in that profession, whether it be firefighters, law enforcement, I think those are the people you want opening that up to monitor that on off hours outside of school. That's why the two different procedures, because we'll have obviously school staff during the day, but outside of that, it's
The
got
automation system is, in my opinion, the automation system is important because we don't want someone on the road trying to get out here to unlock a door. That's the scary part.
yeah, we don't want to put somebody in harm's way, for sure.
That's exactly right, our goal is. So, but I apologize that this is taking longer than expected.
How many keys are available now?
I can't answer that question. I know that a couple of the teachers have the key. I can't answer the teachers whose classrooms are over there have keys, and I think there are some teachers on staff that have keys. But I do not think any community members at this time have a key to that.
No.
What'd you say?
If it was needed this evening, what would happen?
That's it's not a. And I think part of that was the signage going up, and all that was very premature, without having a procedure in place. I mean, there's got to be some kind of procedure. You just can't. Well, you go open at this time. I'll go up. You can't do that. It needs to be solid and effective for it to work.
It is not available to the public at this time. Is that correct?
I would say yes until we really figure out how to automate.
Because we are trying to figure out all the, make sure we do it correctly.
Yeah.
And then came here, trying to get in and let them go on the winter, but had them in. I'm not saying anything bad or, but I think it should be fair to the public because of that. We don't need that.
Absolutely not. You're right. So my plan would be is to meet with Andy next week, look at what we need to do, maybe share publicly, even in the Shoals News, and then try to figure out. We want it to work, but we need it to work without relying on someone. I don't want anybody to have an accident on the way out here trying to open that door. So the automation piece is
There's just a lot of pieces that you got to put together on that to make it be effective. You make it be
we don't
effective.
have automation to those doors.
I think you get into a different level of liability having people in this part of the building, right, which isn't a storm shelter. So then if people are in this part of the building unmonitored, right?
There is. Well, there's certain doors in that situation you can't lock. So a fire marshal, and Bruce, you'll know this, there's certain things you can't do in a public building. So there's a lot of stuff that has to be considered for public use
And
on
I
that.
can't open the doors from my
Someone else, someone can. Because like we back during summer, a lot more.
But rest assured, it's all being looked into. A procedure is in the works. We just want to get it narrowed down and try to cover as many areas, many questions as we can as we do it. Yes.
So the part of the new addition to the building, the new shelter has a fully supported generator that runs that space.
Yes. 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 That's what I'm trying. That's a law enforcement person should be present. That's what we're trying to do as far as getting the emergency management system in place to help take care of that part. That's what I'm hoping for. Yes, that's what we're trying to get set up to help us with that. Yes, sir.
You know, where there are other cable shelters like this?
To my knowledge, I think there's one other school district in Salem or Seymour.
I can't remember, but there's not many in the state of Indiana. I think we're one of two, maybe three. Just from a grant.
Candace worked on it years ago.
Yeah,
She applied
it's-
originally.
Then Kendra took over and then
It's been in the works for a long, long time, and it finally got done. So, yeah. Reimbursement from FEMA at some later date.
Hmm.
I think that's what he's saying. That'll have to be looked into too. I'm not sure on that, any of that.
I think that's what we had when we had the Red Cross here. When Red Cross was here, we had that.
Okay.
Ideally, some type of automation system where we can go on an app and open the doors, or that, and I don't know how the system works in like law enforcement and EMA, and I'm looking forward to talking to Andy about it.
I think that's going to be a key part. It's going to be key as far as how that works, getting those guys involved. Okay.
Thank you for the questions.
Leave of accounting report for June of 2026. Motion to approve that.
All motion.
Ethan, second. Eva, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Aye. And we need a motion for the approval of claims. Motion for that.
I'll make a motion.
Lorna, second.
I'll second.
Ethan, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Anything else? Yep. Thanks everybody for coming out and the questions. And with that, I think meeting's adjourned. Next meeting, August 13th.